show. Of course, I am your host. I don't. I guess are you more the host in this one? I feel like no, you want you. I'll take a lead. I got you. But I guess I'm your host with the most Truman Steam Machine Steen, and as always, I'm joined here with Scott, the Steamroller Steen. You want to go by the Steamroller in this show?
I don't know, dude. That's fine. You can just call me by my Christian name.
Oh, just Scott then. Or as you've sometimes been known to me, Dad, I guess.
Was I supposed to not hear your intro?
No, you were absolutely supposed to hear
Okay.
the intro. I asked if,
Okay.
if I was the host or if you were the host, and then you didn't say anything, and I was like, I guess I'm the
Right.
host then. Cool, all right.
Well, I guess we're truly co-hosting, but since you've set it up and you're starting the recording, so it's always going to be yours as the first voice we hear.
Right. Yes.
So you sort of get to default be the host, but I think it ought to be whoever does the best that week gets to be the host.
Yeah, you can be the yeah. Okay. So let's break it down. This is different than anything that me or you
Why
have
are
ever
we here? What are we doing?
This is different than what we do. You know, you've seen us do sports, you've seen me do food, but we don't ever really talk about our health. And there's a reason.
We're gonna combine the two and do sporty eating.
Sports, competitive eating. We're gonna
Right.
Yes, this is our journey.
I was
What?
just thinking next week we each need to buy like a bag of Hy-Vee chips and then pass them like Mahomes does to Kelsey. You can just grab the chips.
The weird
Okay,
I think
I'm sorry.
the weirdest part of that is that the Travis Kelsey background is like all black and Mahomes' house is like all white. And I'm like, why are these like these aren't their dynamics? This isn't their personas. You know, I'm not like Travis Kelsey, goth. That makes sense.
Right.
It's weird, but I get what they're trying to do. You know, yin and yang. But so the show, as you can see here, two fat guys and a dream. There'll probably be a fancier logo next week. You guys can be really excited for that. But essentially, the dream here is not, shockingly, not competitive eating. The dream here is actually, for once, health. And I think there's a different side of health that we think about. I think people listen, and again, we're gonna use the word fat here, guys. This is gonna be,
Is that not? Can you not say that anymore?
it just feels weird to say it. It feels weird to be like I call myself fat, but it would be weird for me to be like, well, you're fat, unless you're like, I'm fat, we're fat guys, I understand between me and you that we are fat guys, but like if I walked up to for people who know Owen and it was like fat, like that would be a problem, right?
Well, it wouldn't because you're stupid. That's because Owen's not fat.
Right, exactly. Yes, but so it's just weird. It's weird to call other people fat. If you're calling yourselves fat, we can call each other fat, but don't you call us fat, But
Were you ever in the bar late at night and your buddy's like, you should fire on the fat chick?
no. Luckily, my friends would not tell me to do that, but they'd be like, oh yeah, But
since you're fat, you can fire on the fat chick.
It's different. We just don't say. I just feel like we just don't say fat as often. But here,
I just don't fit in this world. Yes, we're going to use the word. We're going to use the F word.
Yes. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. It feels weird. All right. We'll get past it. We'll get past it. And it doesn't have to be a hurtful word. I think that's the hardest part is that, like, when we talk about health, when you're watching health shows or whatever, it's either people that are super skinny and are like, I don't know how you guys can't get here. I don't know how you guys can't get to being skinny. Or it's people that are, overweight, fat, that are like, we're good to be here. We should stay here. Listen, we are two fat guys here, and we would enjoy to not be fat. I think that's, and almost that feels weird to say in today's world is that I don't feel like I'm a lesser person because I'm fat. I don't feel like I don't, fit in this world, or I don't think I have, insecurities about being fat. But I just don't like being this size. I don't like how I move around. I don't like how I feel in the morning. And so it's, coming from internal motivation. But there's nothing wrong with being fat. But I don't want to be fat anymore. I would like to
Right. Yeah.
no longer be fat. And I think that is true for, I think, a lot of fat people. I think, in a way, a lot of fat people, people assume fat people are just like, just don't have a plan. Man, I have a plan. I try to eat healthy every day. I really
Right.
do. There
Right.
are weeks where I'm like, I'm off the rails. That's fine. Other than that, there's most weeks that I'm trying to eat healthy or I have a plan,
I know
and
you
it
you
just
meal plan, you pack your lunches and shit and make your dinners in advance or plan them out and stuff, and
right.
you
And there's
you
and
do
there's some I feel sometimes maybe some generational factors where maybe it's fair to say our family does not have the highest metabolism in the world.
yeah,
Not naturally.
my parents were both overweight. I'm overweight. All my kids are overweight. So,
That's fair.
it's one of those things that I would call it my biggest failure, um, as a parent to, not get a hold of my health earlier and give you guys a better example. Um, and, not let you, I think we were responsible for you developing a lot of really good habits, but, you gotta take the good with the bad, and that's, one of the worst that I've been a part of. And for me, my motivation is a little bit different than yours because, um, I'm in a position where, it's really getting to be a problem at my age.
Right.
So I don't have a lot of health issues yet that are, driven by weight. My blood pressure is still good, knock, 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 et cetera. I'm still pre-diabetic, but, it wouldn't take much of a push to send me into some very bad problems. So, uh, this and hopefully it's gonna be a motivation to whatever age you are. If you're 60 like me, it's never too late. If you're 25, you're 26 now,
There
right?
you go.
Yeah,
You got it. Yeah,
26.
there you go.
So if you're in your mid 20s, it's not too late, and you still, if you can get a handle on it now, you can still have 50, 60 great years.
Right. Yeah.
So it's we're coming at it from kind of different motivations, but some of them are the same. So, what we're going to do is I have developed, a diet plan, and we were originally going to go on this around the first of the year. You were out of town, you had some commitments. I went
Yes.
ahead and started it anyway, like the
Oh,
2nd of January,
okay.
and ended up losing like 14 pounds over the month of January. I had a real good
Nice.
month.
Yeah.
So I developed a plan. It's very, very simple. I'm limiting my calories to 1,800 calories a day. I'm eating no more than 90 carbs, and I'm eating no more than 20 grams of sugar. Trying to cut out, for the most part, everything in my diet that is white rice, um, uh, unprocessed, bleached flour for bread, shit like that. Um, Potatoes, I will still have some potatoes. I had a potato this morning, but I keep it within the parameters of my plan. So that's what I'm doing. Truman, what are you doing?
So I'm going to attempt. I have a little bit more flexibility. There's a little bit more of a. I know you guys have tried a couple different diets and you've run into issues where you've had to talk to your doctor and the doctor's like, you're not getting enough protein or you're not getting enough this. So you guys have
Right.
settled into where you have to settle into. I'm still young. I can eat crazy amounts of things or crazy amounts of not things, or I can be variable. I'm a variable person. I have also, through the benefit of you guys, my parents, sorry, that's not you guys, the listeners, but you guys, as I point at my dad, but I've, I have grown to be not a picky eater at this point in my life. I would say there's about a, one or two things that I'm like, I won't eat that. I really don't enjoy beets that much. But again,
Right.
I'm not like I won't not eat beets if it came down
Tastes
to
like
it. If the
it
doctor,
tastes like dirt. Tastes like dirt. Can't do it.
it's
Can't do it.
sweet dirt. It's weird, man. I can't. I don't love the way beets taste, and I don't love black olives. Still, I've
Oh,
started to
yeah.
work myself in on green olives. I've had a couple green olives on a charcuterie board from here and there that I've
Letting them sit out
enjoyed.
longer and longer.
Yeah. The more I just eat it and I'm like the salt, I'm like, okay, this is nice, I guess. I know you don't eat mushrooms, but I have a girlfriend that's worked on me with mushrooms. So now I'm
Yeah.
okay with mushrooms. So, but that's really about it. That's about all the things I won't eat. There's some, like, I don't eat escargot. I've never had escargot, but I know like some slugs can give, there's a chance like slugs can give brain diseases. So that's one of those weird things where I just don't eat slugs. So snails included in that. So I've never had escargot. That's maybe the three things that I would love to not eat is escargot, olives, and beets. But
So there's going to come a point where we're going to ask suggestions from you guys for what diet Truman should do next.
right,
So please don't suggest the escargot, beets, and uh, what was it?
olives, yeah,
Olives, black olives diet,
yeah.
because that will he will
Don't
lose a lot of weight on that. If that's all you can eat, he's going to lose a lot because
do,
he's not going to be able to eat shit.
do not suggest the slug cleanse. I will not enjoy that.
No, no, not a bit. So
Um,
you're going to spend 2 weeks
yes,
on each diet. We're gonna spend the first week explaining what diet you're on, and we've got a list. And I'm sure the graphics package is going to be much better next week, where we're going to go through a list of how feasible is it, how much does it cost, et cetera, et cetera. A couple of rules that you and I came up with. We're not doing any kind of organized plan where you have to pay money. We're not
yeah,
doing Weight Watchers. We're not doing Slim for Life. Nothing where you're going to take supplements or
yeah, like
any of that bullshit. Go to meetings. It's certainly
exactly.
we're not slamming that. It works for some people. It's worked great for a lot of people. We want to do something where you can do it in the privacy of your own house, or maybe with a trip to the gym if you want to start incorporating exercise. But we're not trying to pump one diet over another. Or certainly not diet multi-billion-dollar corporation diet centers. They're fine without us.
Yes, and I don't want to take like diet pills, which at sometimes can be the essentially the same as crack. you
I'm on the
know,
cocaine diet. Great.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. You get up and you start your day with a bump, have another bump about 10. You're not going to want to eat shit.
you're gonna
No,
lose
we're
a
not.
lot of weight that way. Yeah, no,
We're not going to cheat. We're not going to take supplements. Maybe some diets you'll need to take like B16 if you do a vegan or V12. You have to take B12 because there's certain enzymes you do not get from meat.
right.
But whenever you get to the vegan thing, you might have to supplement like that. But that's probably as far as we're going to go.
Yes, we'll give. I'll try to give a little bit of a background on the diet, where history. For example, this first week, I've selected the diet. It's gonna be. It probably would have been the most popular one that people would have picked anyways. It's very popular right now. We're gonna do keto in the first 2 weeks. That's where I'm gonna give you the preview, the history of it. Next week we'll do a check-in. We'll see how it's going, how feasible it is, and then 2 weeks from now we'll see how it goes. We'll see if I get into ketosis and whatnot. But so today we're gonna break down the history of keto. We're gonna break down what the main goal of the diet is, what I can eat, what I can't eat, foods to avoid, food to enjoy. That's what what I can eat, can't eat. But
And then we're also going to talk from a personal standpoint about our victories, the things that we were able to do successfully during the week. We're going to talk about the worst thing we ate, the worst thing in the world that we ate that week, and what else is on the list?
and on some weeks, so to be fair, on the weeks where we're recapping a diet and starting a diet, those episodes are going to be pretty diet packed. But on our midweek episodes where we're just doing a little bit of a check-in, or like this first episode where we're just doing a preview of it, we're gonna sneak in a little fast food review, Scott.
Mhm.
We're gonna break down new fast food items. We're gonna talk about the macros. We're gonna talk about how many calories it's got, how much sodium has it got. Man, and I think anytime we talk about a new fast food item that isn't like ice cream, I think the sodium is pretty much always going to be a bummer in America.
If
I
it's
feel like
if you're getting it on wheels, it's going to have a shit ton of salt in it. That's
there's
just the
just
way it works.
so much salt in it. So that's
Yeah,
what I
and
learned from this first item.
just to be clear, this isn't a food that we're going to go out and eat. We're not going to do a review and break our diets.
Yeah.
I think this first item isn't going to be on the plan for either one of us.
No, I don't think so. No.
So it'll be just going over the nutritional value, how easy it would be to incorporate into whatever diet you're doing. Because some of the things we'll talk about, you could still have them, even maybe with some modifications or something like that. I don't think this is one of them.
Yeah. So that's going to be the show. We're going to do pretty much straightforward health stuff. We're going to do diet reviews. We're going to talk about our personal journeys. We're going to talk about looking into fast food items that are kind of the future of, what you can eat that week. Hey, don't eat that. That's not going to be good. Hey, but this thing actually is pretty good. We're going to, and it's all going to be from a different perspective. We are not health gurus. We are not.
Obviously not.
We
Obviously, we are not. This is
yes.
I think we have to put some sort of disclaimer in there that we are not doctors. Do not take this as medical advice. This is for informational purposes only. This
Yes.
is something that we're doing. We're not certainly suggesting that you do it or after hearing this, jump on keto and never eat a potato again. No, nothing like
Right.
that. This is just what's working for us. We'd love to hear from you guys in the comment section. What's worked for you? What hasn't worked for you? And tell us if you're troubled that one of the biggest food manufacturers in the world also owns the biggest tobacco company in the world. And
Which food manufacturer is that?
Kraft Foods owns
Marlboro?
whatever company makes Marlboro. Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez, I
Uh,
didn't know that.
and
That's one of those
and if you
B6 or
and
whatever.
if you and if you look at the acquisition of Kraft and you look at these obesity rates, there's a disturbing overlay. I'll just put it that way. So a lot of
Interesting.
the foods, and I'm not going to go deep off the deep end, at least in the first week, but a lot of the foods that you're eating were designed to keep you eating more of those same foods.
Yes.
Sugar, salt are all designed to get you to keep fucking coming back for more.
Well,
So you,
I think a perfect example. You happen to marry somebody who is my mother. You're
yes,
my father.
I
I don't know.
almost forgot.
I don't
Yes.
know. I always sometimes I say stuff where I was like, "Yeah, I'm going over to my dad's place." And I was like, "But my mom lives there too. They're married still." I just I feel like, and she's my mom,
Right.
and they're both my biological parents.
Yeah, we're not one of those blended, broken up families where we both own all of you. We
Yes,
claim all four of
yes.
you.
Nothing
So
wrong with that, but yes, we just it's just
no,
where we're at.
oh no,
Sorry, but you married somebody who is actually has been on the fore. She's been on the cutting edge pretty much my entire life. Where she said things where I'm like, okay,
yep,
well that sounds kind of weird. Like that's not going to become mainstream knowledge, or that
right,
couldn't be possibly be mainstream. But now we get here and we're like, oh, like that is true. Like she was early on about that fats aren't evil, but sugars are evil, and
sugar,
that is still something that we don't necessarily get out of our heads. People don't.
yeah,
Sugar is almost never good for you. More sugar is not great. Your body makes sugar, but fats can be good. They can be energy. They can be all these things. But we have a lot of emphasis on low fat and not low sugar.
right. I turned you on when you and I were doing the prep for this show. I turned you on to Snackwells, which you'd never heard of,
Right.
which were if everybody remember the Nabisco low fat, and they had a whole line of crackers and cookies and cakes. All of them had 40-50% less fat, and people ate them by the box load. And what happened, Truman?
Still got fat.
People got fatter.
Yeah.
People got
Yep.
fatter.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly right. And my wife, your mom, was telling us 25 years ago, it's how the body metabolizes sugar. It's not just sugar drinks, it's also diet soda because the body thinks it's sugar.
Yes.
It's such a great job of fooling the body that it works. So, um, yeah, that's kind of we'll give us some insight like that,
Yeah.
probably every week or so. So
Right.
anyway,
Yeah. Absolutely. Well.
we're gonna weigh in. We're going to let you know, and we're gonna do it by percentage. This is going to be a friendly contest. We haven't developed any kind of a the winner buys the other one a pizza or something. We
Yeah.
haven't developed any kind of a payoff at the end. I think the payoff will be better health
Yeah.
and hopefully
Bragging rights.
a successful video series and bragging rights. That's right.
Right.
So
Listen.
yeah, I think we're at the point in our relationship where somebody said, would you rather have $50 or have something to lord over Truman forever? I'm going to take the lord over Truman forever.
Yeah, yeah. I think we're both in financially okay places for that. I don't need to send you $100. I think we can just
Now,
say,
if you
yeah,
said
that's great.
$500, I might have to admit. But
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. That's fair.
so yeah, you ready to get to it? What do you want to do first?
I'm ready to get to it. I think every week, I think it'll be nice to kind of cap off with our personal health stuff. I think that's a nice place to end. So I think
Okay.
I think we should start with the diet. That's going to be, the meat of this first act or so, or second act, I guess, after the intro. But this week, Scott, I'm doing the keto diet. This
Okay.
is a diet that's certainly been on the forefront. I've heard a lot of people doing this, and I'll tell you, sometimes it looks disgusting. I can understand where they're doing the right things. They're doing low carb stuff. They're doing, high protein. But there are weird moments where they're putting butter in coffee and they're, eating 6 meat patties with cheese, but no
Right.
bun, and that makes it okay. It is interesting. And Scott, do you know where the keto diet originated?
I mean, I gotta be honest with you, I don't really know the intricacies of the difference between, like, the Atkins, the South Beach, all the other protein-heavy diets. So,
Right.
no, I don't know the genesis of the particular keto diet that everybody's on now.
It can all kind of fall into that category of the keto diet. Atkins, I see that it's mentioned in the Wikipedia article and stuff like that. But the full name is the ketogenic diet. If you were to Google keto diet, that's where it's going to take you. It actually started in the early 1900s, like 1910s, 1920s. And the reason it originated was to help with epilepsy. Absolutely, actually. It was fasting in the keto diet were used to kind of help treat epilepsy. They used it together. I think fasting still has its place in the keto diet. That'll be part of it. But they used to believe that. I mean, they still. It is almost, and it's actually. I was going to say they used to believe that fasting would be good and a helpful way to treat epilepsy, but there is still some science to back that it is helpful. It does actually help decrease epilepsy, which is very interesting. I don't think we have all the time to dig into mental illnesses and brain illnesses and kind of what maybe a
Yeah,
regimen can
I
do.
just wanted to correct you that epilepsy is not a mental illness.
Yes,
It's
sorry.
a I believe it's a neurological disorder.
Neurological, yeah, but yeah,
It is a
yes,
disease of the brain, but it's not
not mental.
schizophrenia or something like that. So,
That's fair. But it was actually developed by Rollin. It's Rollin, as Big and Rich would say, Rollin. But
right?
Roland Turner Woodyard, he reviewed research on diet and diabetes and reported that 3 water-soluble compounds. It was B-hydroxybutyrate. These are not going to be great. One thing you need to know about me is I'm terrible at pronouncing words, names, places. I'm not the best at it. As Acetoacetate. It's probably acetoacetate. Man, that
Nobody,
hurts.
no one cares, and no one's writing this down.
And
Just fucking
and acetone were produced by the liver and otherwise healthy people when they were starved or if they consumed a very low carb, high fat diet, the keto diet that we know today. All this was used to treat epilepsy in the 1920s and 1930s. But when phenytoin was discovered in 1938, it actually gave way to more studies for anticonvulsant drugs, which then became the norm for the leading way to treat epilepsy. There is still some situations in the U.S. today where they use fasting or the keto diet to help with epilepsy, but typically they search out medicine to first start off with. But even today, the keto diet will claim that it helps heart disease. They're doing studies on cancer right now about it. There's there's been some studies that show it might decrease Alzheimer's. It obviously has epileptic helps, Parkinson's disease. More research is needed, but they're starting to study it and how it affects a lot of brain neurological diseases like epilepsy and other things. So it's interesting to see how all these things connect to epilepsy, and how all these things connect back then to the keto diet.
yes,
But
agreed.
so
Totally agreed.
there's an overarching history. It kind of went away in the after the 40s once they started developing medicine. It actually gained back some relevancy in the late 90s. They were talking about it again, but it was used on like medical shows. What was it? First Do No Harm. It's a
Yes.
made-for-television film starring Meryl Streep. It
Oh,
was involved in that movie. That's kind of where it came back into the fold of main media culture. But now we're here. Now we're back to
all right.
here. Now we're at keto, where now people are now using it for weight loss. It's still a good approach for weight loss. So, what is keto, Scott? Do you know what you are trying to do when you are on the keto diet?
Well, you're trying to send your body into ketosis, which is where it I guess the bottom line is it starts burning fat for energy as opposed to excess carbs. When you get rid of all the excess carbs in your body, the next thing it does is burn fat. So you literally send your body into what is called ketosis. And I know with the Atkins, they actually sold you strips that you would pee on to see if you were in ketosis yet. If it was purple, I think you were good to go. So that's basically that's my knowledge from the Atkins plan, and so I think there's a lot of overlap. How'd I
That
do?
is, yeah, that is exactly what you're trying to do. Trying to send yourself into ketosis. I think it's like the
You want to
Atkins
know about
diet.
nutrition and diet? Ask a fat person because they've tried them all. They have all the fucking knowledge. They just haven't been able to put it all together yet. So
Absolutely. But yeah, so you significantly reduce your consumption of carbs, limit your supply of glucose or carbs and glucose, and then you increase. You do high fat stuff. So it's very interesting. You try to limit yourself. It says 20 to 50 grams per day of carbs. Obviously, I think the goal would be zero, but
no,
it's
your body needs carbs for energy.
you need some
You have to have,
carbs. Right.
you have to have a certain amount of carbs, certain amount of fat.
Yeah. So 20 to
Uh,
50 grams is what we aim for at most for carbs. Instead,
okay.
you supplement it by filling up on fats such as meat, fish, eggs, nuts, and healthy oils. Allegedly, Scott, according to the beginner's guide that I saw, the diet should be so filling that you can lose weight without counting calories or tracking your food intake.
Yeah, and I know that's a big plus for a lot of people. A lot of people don't like to track. With my plan, I have to track every meal.
Yeah,
I have to be accurate, and I have to keep track of my macros. So
absolutely.
that is certainly an advantage to the keto diet. Especially if you got a pretty good idea how many carbs are in something, you can kind of keep track in your head that you're about 25 or 28.
Hmm.
That would be my only concern about guesstimating, because the humans tend to guesstimate a little incorrectly.
Yeah,
I've had about 50 carbs, and you probably had 75 or 80.
yeah,
So
it's hard.
you have to be honest with yourself. You're tracking your food, even if you're not writing it down. The number one requirement is you have to be honest with yourself, or it's not going to work.
Yes, absolutely. So that's also apparently fasting can help you enter ketosis a little faster, allegedly. So might do a little bit of that. I believe down the line there will probably be a time where we do intermittent fasting as just the diet plan,
Right.
and I'll eat
Yep.
normal things.
A lot of people are doing that as well. Correct.
But we'll do a little bit of intermittent fasting with this because the goal is ketosis. I don't know how long it takes to get into ketosis. I
Generally 4 to 6 days, I think.
Okay, so hopefully I'll be able to hit it in 2 weeks.
Oh yeah,
We'll
I
see.
would. Yeah.
So, some foods to avoid here. Soda. Soda is a great example of, again, we talked on it about a bit earlier when you mentioned craft, and how there's a lot of foods that are designed for you to keep eating them. If I remember correctly, soda is one of those drinks that the reason they switched to high fructose corn syrup is because your body processes high fructose corn syrup differently than it processes sugar. Where if you were to put sugar in the soda, you would really only be able to drink one or two and you'd start to really feel bad. Uh, but with high fructose corn syrup, it just doesn't affect your body the same way. It doesn't trigger the same effect. So it is a lot easier to drink a bunch of it. It's a lot easier to
That
drink
way,
44 ounces of high fructose corn syrup soda versus real sugar soda.
it's much easier to go to Quick Trip and fill up your refillable trough,
Absolutely.
of soda. And actually, I read the history of Coca-Cola, because that's what you do when you're old and you don't go out a lot. And
It's
I
either
actually
that or
read that.
get really into the Civil War or World War II, right?
I'm also into both of those. So, um, um, who else reads book about tanks? My dad. That's right. I don't know if you ever saw that commercial, the keeping up from
Mhm.
to keep from growing up to be your parents, but
Yeah.
and he's just sitting on the couch. And who also reads books about tanks? My dad. That's right. Uh, it actually was developed and implemented because of a sugar shortage that they were having problems getting um, sugar out of South and Central America,
Hmm.
and they were looking for cheaper alternatives, and they found it. So even when the sugar crisis normalized, they kept using high fructose corn syrup. And we can get into farm supplements and subsidizing growers for ethanol and for high fructose corn syrup. But the bottom line is a soda, be it diet or full strength, has zero nutritional value. There is nothing in there that you need.
God, and that is absolutely my
Delicious,
biggest crux.
sweet goodness.
Man, I love a soda with a meal. And I think that's part of something that, again, we talk about. A lot of people talk about generational wealth per se, but I think there's also a generational health of sorts. Certainly,
Mhm.
there are some things that I notice that maybe I relate unhealthily with food. If there's a big game, the Chiefs are playing this week. I'm like, you know what, man? I've waited my entire adult life. The thing that I've saved up money to do is I love to go to a sports bar, experience the crowd, eat,
Mhm.
crappy food and go. And it's, in a way, I don't enjoy watching sports by myself, watching a Chiefs game by myself in my apartment as much because there's some part of me where that was a height of luxury. That was something that was like special to me, was going out to a restaurant to watch a game or something.
Mhm.
Or, oh, I'm gonna treat myself on a Friday. I'm gonna stop at McDonald's, get myself a nice little meal. I'm not having my
Two for
protein
one.
shake. I'm not making my omelet.
Sack,
Yeah,
sack attack.
exactly.
Mondays, two for one Big Macs after that sack on Sunday. I used to take you and Emerald
Oh yeah,
for Big Macs after practice on Monday. You guys each get 2 for 1 Big Macs.
absolutely. I
Pound them
think
both.
we thought about that every now and again where I would eat, yeah, we'd each eat 2 Big Macs, a
Right.
large fry, large soda. That is
Hmm.
about 2,000 calories, if I remember
And then
correctly.
you'd go home and have dinner.
Yes, right. Yeah, there still might be dinner. Yeah, which is crazy. But so it's just all sorts of things like that where I'm like, man, I just associate these weird things and soda with a meal. Man, I love a soda. I don't even like drinking a beer with a hamburger, man. I'd rather
I'm
have a
this.
soda.
I'm the same exact way.
Exactly.
I don't care about drinking a beer with food. I'd much rather prefer a soda. It's one of the few bad habits I don't have. I'm not one of these people that carries around a gigantic soda thing all day long.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people drink, fucking 2 liters of Mountain Dew every day or some ridiculous shit. I've never been that guy. I've always been a good water drinker. Always got a water glass. You'll see me drinking it here tonight. That's always water.
hmm
Um, but I do like a nice soda with my meal. A
I
Big Mac.
have
Mountain
developed
Dew.
into that. I get scared every day that I become more like you. Not no offense, but everybody is
I
scared
get
of
it.
turning
I
into
get
their
it.
parents, right? But
They did a whole successful line of commercials about not turning into your parents. Yeah, I get it. It's not a desirable situation.
right, but I find myself not drinking. I don't buy soda to have in the house. That's not something I do. And I also don't drink soda outside of having a meal. Like I wouldn't crack open. If I do, I will sometimes because I convince myself, you know what? I love a Code Red right now, and I get a Code Red. Man, there's times I would go to work and I pick up a soda on the way to work, and I'm like, I'll just drink this throughout the day. And I get a 20-ounce soda, and outside of eating, I drink 4 ounces of it. There's been
Yeah.
times I just toss the soda at the end of the day because I'm like, fucking, God damn it! I toss in 2/3 of a soda because I can't even drink the whole thing. Just because I start to feel bad when my body is starting to feel shitty when I'm drinking soda and not eating it with meals. It's weird when I drink straight sugar water, my body is not enjoying that all the time. So
I get that. I get that. All right, so let's move it along. I've just got the ingredients. This is full disclosure. We're going to weigh in on Fridays. We're going to tape on Friday or Saturday, release it on Tuesday.
right,
So we're actually taping here Saturday evening. I just had the ingredients for tiki masala that we're making tonight. Just walked through the door, so I got to get to that. Truman, do you want to talk about where we're starting this week and what and any kind of other housekeeping stuff that we haven't covered?
yes. Sorry. So you want to do fast food review real quick, or we want
Oh
to
yeah,
save it?
yeah. Let's do that. Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
real quick.
Let's rip
So
these motherfuckers.
this will be a thing. We've got the White Castle Shrimp
We're
Nibblers.
going to start with my favorite fast food joint of all time, by the way.
Absolutely. White Castle is great because you can have a million burgers and it's like a meal, instead of like it's not as bad for you, but it's still pretty bad for you. It's
It
funny
is.
because the burgers are small, so you can eat more of them. But instead of eating like one burger or like two burgers like you normally would if they were big, You instead eat 10. So then you eat more burgers in the process. It's great.
Yes.
But
So this is a new item
yes.
on the White Castle menu. They're trying to branch out a little bit into the seafood realm. You're going to see a lot of new seafood offerings here in this 40-day period between Ash Wednesday and he has risen Sunday.
Yes.
So we're going to see a lot of seafood stuff. Truman, I imagine you and I will even get together and do some shrimp boils and fish fries here in the next 4 weeks, 5 weeks, whatever.
Absolutely. Tina told her coworkers about it, that we go to those, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, we want to go also with you guys to these fish boils." So
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Might have a bunch of people. Might be bringing a big old group.
We've got our favorite. It was one of the. I'm going to tell the story real quick. I don't even. It's the. Is it Ascension? It's they're at 31st and
the Church of the Redemptionist. Right?
It's the Redemptress. Yes, it's the Catholic Church at 31st and Broadway in Kansas City, or 31st and Southwest Traffic Way.
Or Church of the Resurrection?
Yes,
No,
I think it's.
Or the Redemption.
I don't know. Look it up.
Oh yeah, no, Redemptionist. It's the Church of the Redemptionists. Yeah.
But they've got a ridiculous deal. It's 20. I think it's 20. I think they finally raised it to $20. It was 15 forever.
Yes.
I think they finally raised it to 20, but it's all the boiled shrimp or baked fish that you want, potatoes, coleslaw, bread and butter, and some kind of a beverage. They have, I think, tea, lemonade, and water. And
I think there's a pizza option too. If you
there is a pizza option, there's a cheese pizza option as well.
Perfect for children.
One of the I felt so bad one time because they have a family price, which is it's the Catholics. They have big families. It's built so you can bring the kids. It's like I think it was like $40. It was $15 a piece or $40 for a family. We went there one time with all 6 of us, and they said, "Oh, you guys all related?" And like, yeah, well, we'll give you the family price. I couldn't fucking do it. I couldn't. No. I couldn't pay $8 a piece for or whatever it was for. I gave them an extra $20. I'm like, I appreciate it, but no, this isn't the family you actually designed this.
You charge full price for all this. We are all full grown adults.
They all got jobs. We all got. I don't know the way. We ain't got going to the Riviera money, but we got full price for a shrimp boil money.
And we don't even go to this church, so I'd feel even worse if they're using that's like a benefit of being a member of that church is that you get to do the family thing.
Yes.
We should not be reaping these benefits.
Amount of Catholics that are Steens, 0.
Yes,
same as last year.
We are here to enjoy your all-you-can-eat shrimp for $20.
That's it.
But we are not here to scam you out of your. No. You should get your $20 per person.
We're not here to fucking beat you up. Sorry.
We're all eating $20 worth of shrimp for sure.
This is the Shrimp Nibblers at White Castle. I've got the stats for a medium up in front of me. Is that what you have as well?
I have all of them. I have the small and the medium and the sack size also. The sack.
Yes, the big. Okay, so this is a serving size is 219 grams. That's going to put it around between 9 and 10 ounces, right? 8 ounces, about a half pound, right?
Yes, that's
28 grams in an ounce. So you got 64, 120, somewhere in that neighborhood. So yeah, half pound of shrimp nibblers, buddy.
Sure.
670 calories.
I've got 790 from the official White
medium.
Castle. Yes.
For a medium?
Yes. The small is 430. The sack is 1280.
You don't have a 670 anywhere?
I don't. I can send you this. Right. I can send you the PDF. I've got.
Well, no, because I'm reading it off of MyFitnessPal, which is usually pretty accurate.
Mm-hmm.
But since you've got it there, let's take a look. It's even worse. It's even worse than I thought.
It is even worse than you think. It's 790 calories. It is 460 of those calories are from fat.
Okay.
There's 41 grams of fat. There is 8 grams of saturated fat. There is 1,810 milligrams of sodium.
Yeah.
Which is about 80% of your daily sodium intake, or it should be. Yeah. Of your 30, I think it's 2,300, right? I believe is the number that you should be shooting for.
I think that's what I'm shooting for, yes.
62 grams of carbs. So, again, we talked about the keto diet. You should be between 20 and 50. There's 62 in the medium shrimp nibblers that are only 790 calories, 62 carbs. 24 grams of protein, which is a surprising amount of protein, honestly. And there's 3 grams of fiber in the medium.
Not
Dietary
ideal.
fiber to really help you move along with it.
I will give you a cheat that my doctor gave to me about sugar, and he said you should have more fiber than sugar in your diet.
Oh, I got bad news about the shrimp nibblers.
Ah,
Not less sugar. Let's see. The sugar is let's see. Oh, sorry, I almost looked at the fish nibblers. The sugar. Oh, hold on. Now I lost it again.
I
Okay,
can't find it.
the sugar is 3. Oh, it's the same amount of dietary fiber and sugars. Both 3 grams. So, hey,
Okay.
maybe closer than you think, right?
Yep. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. That's
So
a
yeah, it's not something we just kind of wanted to start with that one because it's timely. It's a new item. If you're listening in Kansas City, you don't have a White Castle. You got to drive to Columbia,
yes.
which I'm not ashamed to tell you we have done uh,
Oh,
more than once
yeah.
just for White Castle.
Man, I was in Orlando, Florida, and there was a White Castle across from our hotel when we were going to Disney
Yep.
World, and we like forced a meal to the White Castle because we're like, dude,
Nice.
we don't have White Castle in Kansas City. We've got to get White Castle. Tina loves White Castle. Doesn't even like the burgers. Just likes the chicken rings. So
Oh yeah, that's something too. All right, so let's look at this from a dietary standpoint. Truman, is there any redeeming quality? It's got a fair amount of protein.
it does have a fair amount of protein. God, man, 62 carbs is a lot. That's about 1/4 of your carbs, so it's not
Hmm.
terrible. 'Cause, I mean, if you're on a 2,000 calorie, the I think that's your base recommended. Then you're getting 1/4 of your protein or 1/4 of your carbs from about 1/3 of your calories. So
It's
I
not
guess
ideal.
it's sort of low carb, but I don't know, man. I don't think it's. I just don't think it's. I think it's nice on a Friday. When you're struggling on. At least it's got more protein. If you're not eating meat on that Friday, I think it's always going to be a little bit of a struggle to find the right nutritional values. Sometimes, I mean, there is paths to veganism and whatnot. I think I'm going to attempt it later on in this series, but I could imagine if you're looking for protein, maybe in a pinch, it's not bad. At least the medium only has 790, a little bit better than a meal from McDonald's, I guess. But I can't see that much of a dietary benefit, and it doesn't fit
No,
into keto. I can tell you that much.
no, no, because it's all breaded, of course.
Yes,
So,
right.
all right, very good. So that's our food. We haven't developed a rating scale yet, but it would be 0 stars. Do not recommend, I believe, if we were going to steal another, maybe 1 star, a
Maybe
half a
one
star.
star. Maybe a 1 star, half a star. Yeah.
Okay, very good. All right, so let's talk about where we started. You ready?
With the personal health reviews,
Yeah.
we're talking about we're gonna start with our weights.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna say it on the internet live.
I think
Not well,
it's
not
up to you.
live,
We,
but
we didn't really talk about
we
it, but
can. We can. I can. I
all
don't
right.
say it very often, and I think people, everybody. It's one of those things where I don't know if people actually can't guess my weight or if they're just trying to be nice and guess real low. But
Mm-hmm.
nobody's ever really close, and I appreciate that. So, but we're gonna say it here live on the show, so it'll be
Okay.
very interesting.
Okay.
All right. You want me to go first? You want to go first?
I'm trying to. I'll go first if you want. If that'll make it easier for you.
You got it pulled up?
Let's see. I started back on. I'll tell you my January story. I started back on January. I started at January 2nd because nobody starts on the first. It was a fucking Sunday. You're gonna
It's
eat.
hard to do.
So
Yeah.
I started on that Monday the 2nd. I was at 342.4. The lowest I got was down to 326.5, so about 15.7 pounds on January the 28th, and then we had some cheat stuff. Actually, no, I lied. I was at 324.4 on February 5th. So better than I lost about 18 pounds in a month,
Mm-hmm.
give or take. So we had cheat days for the Super Bowl, and it turned into a cheat week. I put on a fair amount, and I started Friday the 24th on this journey at 332.3. So
And you're down. You've been much heavier before.
yes, I've been as high as 380 a few years ago, about the around the beginning of the pandemic.
Gotcha.
And you talk about, you wouldn't think there's a difference once you get fucking hugely fatty. You wouldn't think they're different, but there's such a difference, like not even being able to fucking walk to the car without being out of breath and things like that. So,
Right.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's a small victory, but we're ready to really do it to it here. So that's where I'm at shooting. And I weighed in today, and I am down a third of a pound on my first day of my diet. So I don't
Nice.
have any bad things I ate. I had a couple pieces of chocolate, but they were still within the parameters of my plan. So I don't really have any bad things. I guess my victory would be it was a Friday night, and I ate at home and had a healthy dinner. So
Nice. Yeah.
all right,
Uh, so
your turn.
that comes to me. All right. So I right now
268.
see you think right. I appreciate you thinking that for sure. That's about where people pull me. People are like, you're like 250. You're like 260. Man, since I've been in Kansas City, it's crazy. Every time I move on to a different stage of life, I put on about 30 pounds. In college, I came into college about 220. At one point in college, I got up to 230 or like 235. I broke up with this girl. I went back down to like 208. 20
Yeah.
I mean, it was in quick. It just snapped quick because I'm eating on my own schedule, all this stuff. So
When you're off the market, man, you got you get, when you're back on the market, you got to start working on the package.
absolutely, and then then I kind of settled into like an okay weight where I was like 215, 210, 220, so in between 210 and 220, basically like my whole junior year of college, right? And then I got in a relationship my senior year. By the time I graduated college, I was about 240, 250 ish. I was in between 240, 250. I moved to Albuquerque for a long time. In Albuquerque, I was in between 250, 260. And then I got it down to like 245 right at the beginning of the pandemic. I was that joke where people said that on the pandemic. They're like, man, the pandemic's been going on for so long. I started out of shape. I got back in shape, and I'm now back out of shape, even in the pandemic. And I was a prime example of that. I got up, I was like running a bunch, and I got down to like 240 or like 241, 242. And then by the time I was leaving Albuquerque, I was like 255. Right now, as we sit here today, I will say I've been higher. I have touched, since I've been in Kansas City, Christmas 2021, I touched 290 momentarily.
Woo!
That was when I was like, holy shit. But it was right when we got back from Christmas. We go to Chicago for Christmas. Man, there's
Right.
so much good food in Chicago. We're eating Chicago dogs. We're eating deep dish pizza. We're eating all that stuff. All that to say, right now, as we sit today, I reined it in. I've been working out a lot lately. I have not been doing as well on food. I have good weeks. But right now, on the Friday, the day that we have chosen to weigh in every week, 281.5. There you go. It's a
All right,
starting
very
point. It is higher than I'd like to be. I think we talk a lot about. I don't know if you want to talk maybe real quick about where we're going. Mom, your wife likes to use in case you didn't know who my mom was. But let's just call her Tracy. From here moving forward, we'll just say Tracy, just so everybody's
All
like,
right.
all right, who your mom, his mom? I don't have a wife right now, so if we mention wife or mom, I have no kids and I'm not married. I have a girlfriend, but not a wife. So if we say wife or mom, it's Tracy. We'll try to say Tracy.
Okay.
Tracy, she's talked before about good, better, best goals, especially when it comes to health. We talked about good, better, best goals how it related to Patrick Mahomes on the other podcast on Dom That's True this year. I think good, better, best goals for me on this weight loss. One, I cannot get bigger. I cannot allow myself to hit 300 pounds. Right now, I'm at a 2X. Old Navy and Kohl's and everybody else on their normal racks, they stop at 2X. That's as high
Right
as they're gonna
now,
go.
everybody is listening to this going, there's no fucking way at 280 you're wearing 2X.
I wear 2X.
I'm just saying.
I hold it okay. I'm doing all right in this. This is a
All right.
nice 2X hoodie. I do okay.
Yeah,
It's
can hardly see your T-shirt.
all right. All right. At 290, I pushed it. I put the 290 was pushing. I'm like, holy shit! Like I'm wearing my 2X button ups. The buttons are stretching a bit. I'm like, whoa, okay,
Put
all right,
somebody's eye out.
yeah. So good, better, best goals. The base is I cannot get higher than this. I cannot go above 280. I
Well,
can't.
that would be the biggest failed podcast of all time, or whatever we call this, a video series.
Yes.
I put on 8 pounds, Truman put on 12. Woo! We're killing it.
Well, that's like we had the Dom That's True weight loss challenge. Me, first week we were both like, yeah, I lost 5 pounds, and then for the next 9 weeks, neither of us lost weight. We're like,
Jeez.
man, we need to try harder.
I'm not exactly putting in the work.
So now we have the health podcast. We're no sports. We're just doing health. Good, better, best. Good, not get heavier. Better, man. I'd love to get back down 255. Right when I was leaving Albuquerque, when I was in that 250 to 260 range, I got a suit because I was like, man, my suit from high school, college area where I was like really fitting in it really well, 215.
Right.
Surprisingly, doesn't fit you at 255. So I don't know. I don't know how that math works out. But if I got back down 255, I could fit in that suit. That'd be great. That'd be a better goal. A good, better. And the best goal is fuck, man. Head for that suit again. I don't think with my frame, there is no healthy version of me that looks like a normal human being at 170.
That's
or
like the
160.
BMI. That's the BMI for us.
Yes.
It's around 165 to 1. That's fucking ridiculous.
And
That's never going to happen in either
and
one of our lifetimes.
And I can move around well. I've got a lot of I'll say I'm strong. I'm pretty strong. Strong,
Right.
I'm not an out of shape fat. I'm out of shape, but I'm not like a unathletic fat guy. I go out there, I play volleyball pretty well.
You were 250 plus and hiking at least 4 or 5 times a week in Colorado.
Yes, right. Yeah.
So I can attest. You took me to the hill you climbed every day after work, or most days after work.
Right.
And I took one look at it like, holy fuck, how are you fat?
Yeah, that was
How
like
is that
that was like 230. That was like 220 to 230 to 240, somewhere in there.
Okay. So it wasn't quite as bad as I thought, but yeah.
But hell, I was running miles. I do this week working out. I warm up with a 5K. I do.
Okay.
I do 2.1 on the elliptical. I go do the treadmill for at least a mile. I do a 5K when I warm up, man.
Okay, well, you're going to kill yourself. So, yeah, you got to lose some weight.
Right. So at 280, I'm still doing 5Ks. I'm a fairly athletic. I move around. My legs are really solid. I don't have fat guy legs, and I don't have fat guy arms. I just got fat guy right in the middle. Right here. There's no doubt this is fat guy right here. But if I just had my legs, I could maybe get by with it. All
right. So my good, better, best. For me, 3 bills. I haven't been under 300 in at least 10 years. I was around 270, 280 when I went in the hospital, and part of that was because I could not eat very much food. I had a problem where I literally had a governor where any too much food, it would close up and start to like just stay there. So I would fill up really easy. So that was kind of cheating. But as soon as I had the surgery, I could eat anything I wanted to. And boom, it's fucking 60 pounds, like 6 months.
Right.
So 300 would be a great goal. 250 would be my better. 250, I have not weighed 250 since somewhere around 1985, 1984, somewhere in that neighborhood. And then my best goal would be 2 bills. That would be, and that's obviously probably 18 months away. My goal and what I'm doing with my diet, Truman, is I'm giving myself 3-pound goals. And however much time it takes me to hit that, that's fine. I just start a new 3-pound goal after that. So my goal is to have 4 periods of losing 3 pounds, and then I will have a cheat day. That's how I reward myself. The cheat days every so often in time, that doesn't make sense to me. because you could be plateaued, you could be in a bad spot. It may not fit at all with how your weight loss is going. So I'm going to do a progress-driven cheat day, um, and that's how I plan to do that. And I may or may not raise that goal as I go on, like
Fair enough.
3.1 pounds a week, et cetera,
Yeah.
as we get deeper. Because obviously, if you've ever been on a diet, as probably a lot of people have out there that are listening, the longer you go, the harder it gets.
Absolutely.
It's easy to take some off the top. We're going to have some probably pretty good results here in a week, but check back with us in 6 or 8 weeks as the grind really sets in. And
Absolutely.
that's the nice thing about doing what you're doing is you get a new diet every 2 weeks. So you get that fresh feeling like this is it, blah blah blah. You know how you feel that first day of the diet, man. So you're going to get that every 2 weeks. That's a good thing. That's a
Yeah.
good thing. It'll keep you motivated. It'll keep you from getting bored. So yeah, I'm excited to get going.
I am. I'm excited to get under. Listen, I'm at 281.5. I've been threatening that 280 threshold. Once I get past there, getting under 270. Listen, I haven't been under 270 since I've been in Kansas City. So, I mean, not legitimately.
Right.
Maybe when I first got here, but I was on the way up,
Right.
And so back under 270 would be huge. I mean, that would
So
be a momentous occasion for me. And then, yeah.
This is obviously a much better plan than dumping your girlfriend, which seems to be the only other time you lose weight.
Right,
So you're
right.
going to try something. You're going to try something you've never done before, or for that matter, I think either one of us have ever done, and that is lose weight while you're still in a relationship.
Well, I also
So
went from working. I was working also. I guess what I didn't tell you, the other part of that was I was also working 10-hour days. I was working 4 days a week at the time, and then we broke up. And then luckily, my schedule got moved up to 6 10-hour days, working labor construction worker in the 100-degree Kansas summer. So
yeah,
that
that'll do it.
helps. That'll help. I was losing like 5 pounds a day, and I'd eat
Yeah,
dinner. And I'd eat like 3 pounds back. I'm like, fuck, I still lost fucking 2 pounds,
right,
And I
right.
it was so hot, you didn't even want to eat during the day. It's one of those where I had like a stick of jerky at lunch and a stick of jerky at break in the afternoon. And that was like it. And it wasn't because I was trying to lose weight. It was because I literally, if you were to eat, you would feel so terrible during the day.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Yes. Sorry. So, okay. So that's what it's going to look like. That's essentially where we're at. We're going to talk diet. We're going to do, diet review at the midweek or diet check-in. We'll do a diet review. We'll do diet preview every other week. We've got fast food reviews. We are going to talk personal health stuff. There's going to be a lot of riffing. This is going to be a longer episode probably than the other episodes. I think that we're going to try to clock this in 30 to 45 to an hour. This isn't going to be like every other show I do that's way too long and way too boring. And
I'm going to try to keep him on track. I'm going to
Yes.
keep him on track because that's one of my main criticisms of his other podcast. He gets a little verbose and he starts talking. So I'm going to try to keep him on track here. So
Absolutely.
I
But all
didn't do
right.
great this week. We had a lot of stuff to cover the first week, so it's going to be much more streamlined going forward.
Yes. But I appreciate everybody for being here. I appreciate you guys joining us on this journey. This is a journey. Yes. It's interesting to share this. And in a way, of course, as with anything, Weight Watchers, one of the main reasons Weight Watcher people meet is because it's pressure. There's peer pressure. There's
a little accountability. You weigh in every week.
Right.
You have accountability to yourself and to your group. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. And there's some amount if we stop this show because we're like fucking, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do the diet. I want to do, or if I have to come here and say, well, I didn't do the diet this week, it's gonna be obvious. It's an easy check-in. It's like anything in life is that if you are held accountable, it's a lot harder to just be like, no, I didn't do it. But.
And we're completely on the honor system here. We're not going to bullshit. We're not going to start taking pictures of the scale and all that bullshit. It's going to be honor, and you're going to be able to tell. Like you said, we're going forward. You start looking at, especially when you see it all in a row. It's going to be easy to tell. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fun.
And listen, if we both ever hit under 200 pounds, the show's done. I don't care.
Yeah.
Listen. Then we'll be skinny people talking to you.
It better fucking be viral. If you and I both get down to 200 pounds, it better fucking be viral.
If this show sheds over 200 pounds total between both of us, that's what it would take. It would take, you're at 330?
Yep.
And I'm at 280. So that would be 210 pounds for us to get down to 200. It
Yep.
better be fucking insane. There better be 1,000 people messaging me. Not even 1,000 people watching it. 1,000 people message me after every episode, like, "What a fucking banger again!" You know, that's the goal. And the goal, it's nice because it is a goal that we hope the podcast grows. We hope this is a safe space. We hope it's relatable health content. It's a different take on health that isn't shaming you, and it's also almost a little bit of almost fat guy therapy for us to talk about generational health, or maybe you've thought, oh, why? Maybe I do relate food things weird, and but we're also not experts, so you don't need to feel like you're overwhelmed by us. We hope our health journey. We're excited to share it with you, and we hope that opens you guys to share it with us, or you feel like you can come along with us for this ride. And I don't know, is that it? I think that's about it, right?
I think it's it, bud.
How do you end the show? I don't know. I never end a show before an hour, so it's kind of it's an hour 01. So damn, there we go. Never mind.
There you go.
Okay, well I guess I do know how to end a show then.
Don't forget to drop a comment. Don't forget to share the video. We're going to try to get out there on as many platforms as we can, but you guys got to do your part too and get us out there in front of the world.
Absolutely. We're going to try to put it on Spotify. We're going to try to put it on iTunes. I think it's going to go on my YouTube channel, Open Disaster. I think you said you might throw it on yours, Scott Steen.
I will be on my YouTube channel, which is just simply Scott Steen at YouTube. Yep.
Listen, and if you ever want to see anything from either one of us else, I'm Steam Machine on just about everything. If you think I'm on something, check Steam Machine. I'm probably on it.
And I am Steen Roller on Twitter and I believe Instagram as well. I don't spend a lot of time there, but I think I need to start doing that and get this out there as well.
I need to do more Instagram also. I feel that. I've looked at my Instagram. My coworkers started following me on social medias, and that has made me a lot more conscious of like, I'm like, man, am I immature on like social media? Where I'm like, I think about like coworkers, so I'm like, we're having normal conversations at work, and then they get onto my Instagram and they're like, oh my God, what the fuck is he posting? it's all podcast stuff. It's all weird podcast stuff. What the hell's going on? But
here's another one for him.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What is
all right, very good.
Is it white guys start another podcast instead of go to therapy? That's I retweeted that tweet whenever we started Grub Buds, and I'll probably have to go find that so I can retweet it again so people know I'm about to start another show. So
all right, have a great week, buddy.
I appreciate it. Stay healthy, stay friendly. We'll see you guys next week for episode 2. This has been Two Fat Guys in a Dream. Don't stay sleeping on us. We'll work on that motto. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Take care, everybody.